Poštovani slušalci, ambasador Japana, njegova ekscelencija Tošio Cunozaki, koji ima status ambasadora u Beogradu, zadužen je i za Srbiju i za Crnu Goru, danas je otvorio Dane japanske kulture u Kikindi. Program je obuhvatio nekoliko manifestacija u Narodnom muzeju u Kikindi. Prva izložba je počela u 18 časova, počinju drugi programi tokom večeri, a njegova ekscelencija stigla nešto ranije tokom popodneva u naš grad i imala priliku da se sretne sa predsjednikom opštine, ali da obiđe simpozijum Tera. Dobro večer želim gospodinu Cunozakiju.
Dobro večer.
Na samom početku moram da vas pitam otkud ideja da Kikinda bude prva, čini mi se, u 2012. u kojoj su otvoreni Dani japanske kulture.
Why is it Kikinda that had the first town in Serbia that had a Days of Japan?
U 2012.
In 2012.
Well, first of all, I visited Kikinda about a year and a half ago, and I met with Kika, the mammoth skeleton, and I thought I should visit Kikinda again.
I mislio sam da treba ponovo da posjetim Kikindu.
So I'm very glad that I could visit Kikinda the second time. Of course, the municipality of Kikinda long time wanted to organize this kind of a Day of Japan, and I'm very much willing to realize this project. And as you said, this is the first that kind of event of this year, the 2012. And I'm very glad that we chose Kikinda as the first town for this kind of manifestation.
Vi ste posjetili predsjednika opštine, posjetili ste kancelariju za mlade, razgovarali sa predstavnicima institucija kultura. Šta je ono što ste razmenili od informacija? Šta je ono što će ostati poruka?
What is that's gonna be a message that you received from all those visits?
I talked with the mayor, and I realized that Kikinda used to be a very big industrial town in Serbia, and also Kikinda is situated in the very good agricultural region. And I got the impression that Kikinda has a big potential to further development. And also I visited the youth workshop, and first time I found out that the young people are learning Japanese, started to learn Japanese, and it was a very pleasant, big, pleasant surprise for me. So my stay in Kikinda was rather short, but still I learned a lot from these visits.
Koliko građani Srbije znaju o kulturi Japana, imajući u vidu da su ovakve izložbe, a vidim i književne večeri, prilika da se upoznaju malo bolje. Ali sa kakvim predznanjem dolaze? Videla sam da ste i prethodnih godina, recimo i u decembru u Šapcu, imali Dane kulture i da Kikinda nije jedina gde takvi programe organizujete.
What do you think? Are the young people from Serbia familiar enough with Japanese culture? And because there were Days of Japan in Shabac last year, and what was your impression?
Well, I think the interest among young people to Japanese culture is increasing.
Mladi ljudi veoma zainteresuju da raste interes.
particularly the pop culture of Japan is becoming very, very popular. You know, the mangas, animes, and costume plays, those kind of things very popular. And when we had Japanism, well, it's a festival of Japanese pop culture in Belgrade. There were thousands of young people visited the place, and they participated in the manga anime festival. And so I think there is increasing popularity to the Japanese of the Japanese culture in Serbia.
Kikinda je jedno od mesta odakle je upućena poruka solidarnosti nakon tragičnog zemljotresa u 2011. Koliko se Japan oporavio nakon tog događaja do danas?
How's going the recovery of the earthquakes?
First of all, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the people of Serbia, to the people of Kikinda, for the sympathy and solidarity expressed by the people on the occasion of this disaster. And we are successfully recovering from the disaster thanks to those sympathy and solidarity expressed by the people of the world. And of course there are still difficulties among the people of that region, because many people lost their relatives, their children, or sometimes their parents or their relatives. And also many people lost their property, their houses. But still people are recovering, and for example, the industry production now recovered to the level of the before the earthquake. So I can say that the life of the people came to normal in most of the region, except the region where nuclear power station situated. As far as this nuclear power station is concerned, we are successfully cooling down the reactors and there is no more release of nuclear radioactive materials. But of course we have to deal with radioactive materials which are already dispersed, which are already released. So our government is doing its best to contain those nuclear radioactive materials and measuring all the radioactiveness of all the food and other materials.
Vi ste praznike proveli u svojoj domovini?
For holidays, were you in Japan?
For holidays, I was here in Belgrade, in Serbia. But last week I was in Japan to attend the ambassadors conference.
Na ambasadorskoj konferenciji.
Da li imate utisak da je stanovništvo na mestu gde i dalje postoji opasnost od radioaktivnosti i strahuje za dugoročne posljedice po svoje zdravlje?
Do you think people for those nuclear areas that they're still afraid of the consequences?
Well, yes, people are very much concerned about these radioactive materials.
Radioaktivnih materija.
But to a large extent, this is a very sort of a psychological
Ali u velikoj
thing.
meri ovo je na psihološkoj bazi, više
Yes, people are afraid of this radioactive materials, not on the base of scientific
ljudi se ne boje
proof,
zbog
but
naučnih činjenica koje su čuli, nego više zbog
not on the scientific proof, but rather psychological fear, sort of.
Više se boje zbog nekog psihološkog pritiska.
And but of course, this nuclear. The problem of this nuclear material is that we cannot smell, we cannot see the existence of those materials. But people are afraid because they cannot feel the existence.
Ekonomija Japana uz pojačane investicije u javne projekte za rekonstrukciju polako staje na noge je poruka Ministarstva ekonomije od juče. Oporavak privrede jedino može ugroziti nova kriza na berzama, što će zahtevati strožu kontrolu nad kursom jena. Na Dalekom istoku japanski bruto domaći proizvod već 3. mesec zaredom pada. Ipak pad je manje nego što ste vi očekivali, mislim na vladu.
The economy of Japan, investments in public projects for reconstruction are slowly getting better. Recovery of agriculture can be jeopardized only by new economic crisis on a stock market, which will therefore require strict control over the exchange rate of yen. On the Far East, Japanese gross domestic products is falling down the third month in a row, right? And still that decline is not as bad as expected, right?
Because of this disaster of last March, our economic growth went down. But after that, last third quarter, in the last third quarter of last year, Japanese economy grew very rapidly. And we saw a good sign of Japanese economic development. But unfortunately, now there is an economic crisis in Europe.
Nažalost, trenutno je vlada ekonomska kriza u Evropi.
And if this crisis will continue longer, then that would affect our economy in Japan. And so we really hope that this European debt crisis will finish soon, and by that the economy of the whole world will develop.
Da li osjećate krizu u velikim sistemima Japana za koje svi znamo, kao što su Toyota, Honda, Sony, Nissan, Toshiba?
Is there any crisis felt in big factories such as Toyota, Toshiba, and others?
There was some slowdown of productions among those companies after this big earthquake and tsunami. But several, maybe 2-3 months after the disaster, those companies successfully recovered to the level of the production before the earthquake. And I think they are expecting the growth of production this year. So I think those companies successfully overcome the difficulties created by the earthquake and tsunami. Now, if of course, the world economy would stagnate because of this crisis in Europe, that would of course affect those Japanese companies. But if the world economy will grow, then I think our Japanese companies will also be good. But of course, there is another problem, that is overvaluation of yen. Yen is too much appreciated.
Također postoji problem jer je precijenjena vrednost jena.
But that is because the economy in Europe is not good. So euro is now very much depreciated. Therefore, yen is now very much appreciated.
Zato je jen veoma u porastu.
If the economy in Europe will be in good shape, will grow, then the euro will become higher and yen will become cheaper. So in that case, I think our economy, our export will expand.
Kako biste ocenili ekonomsku saradnju Srbije i Japana?
How would you evaluate the economic collaboration between Serbia and Japan?
Well, I think there is a big potential of economic cooperation between Japan and Serbia. But this potential is not used in a way. Because Japanese business people don't know the situation in Serbia.
Ljudi u Japanu ne znaju situaciju u Srbiji, nisu dovoljno upućeni.
If they hear the word Serbia, they always associate with still the war or the conflict in Balkans. So I'm encouraging Japanese business people to come to Serbia and see the reality and to talk with the business people in Serbia. And also I encourage Serbian business people to visit Japan and to let Japanese people know Serbia. And by this way, I think if business people of both countries would know much better and they have much close relations, then I think our economic relation will improve quite a lot. And I think the investment from Japan to Serbia would increase in the future.
U tom kontekstu, ako recimo pogledamo Japan Tobacco u Senti, da li je GTI dobar primjer imajući u vidu da su se oni nekoliko puta žalili na mere vlade i poresku politiku prema duvanskoj industriji?
Is it a good example of successful factory here?
I think GTI is doing very well here in Serbia. And GTI is satisfied with the quality of labor force here. And of course they have introduced a Japanese work style called Kaizen, the management of management. And the people working in the JTI very successfully adapting this Japanese style management.
Su veoma dobro uklopili japanski način poslovanja ovde.
So I know that the factory, JTI factory in Senta, is one of the best factories in the world. Because JTI has many factories in many countries in the world, but this factory in Senta is one of the best ones. So I think this factory of JTI in Senta is a very good example of a good investment from Japan to Serbia. And if other companies, Japanese companies, know this example of JTI, then I think they will show much interest to Serbia.
Ako bi vas neko od japanskih investitora pitao gde treba doći u Srbiji i otvoriti novu fabriku, da li biste vi mogli da mu preporučite Kikindu?
Could you tell people from Japan to invest in Kikinda? Would you encourage them?
Today I learned from the mayor that Kikinda has a very good sort of a base for investment in the field of manufacturing, because there is a big auto part factory, factory of the auto parts, and also I got the feeling that the people here in Kikinda is very nice, very friendly. From now I can recommend Japanese business people to come to Kikinda to see the reality and to have a conversation with the people in Kikinda.
Krajem 2011. na internetu su se pojavile razne informacije o tome da vlada Japana namerava da obezbedi 10.000 besplatnih letova za one koji bi posle izveštavali u Japanu, i ja sam našla podatak na sajtu turističke organizacije Japana da to ipak nije ušlo u budžet. Da li vi znate nešto više o tome? Otkud ta informacija? Očigledno nije bila samo novinarska patka, očigledno neko nešto nagovestio.
In the end of the 2011, there was an information that the government of Japan was
10.000 besplatnih letova.
Was giving 10,000 free flights to Japan,
yes,
but that never happened.
Yes, well, that was a sort of plan of the Ministry of Transport, Minister of Transport and Tourism.
Transporta i turizma.
But unfortunately, the Ministry of Finance rejected this plan.
Odbilo ovaj plan.
And so this project was not included in the budget of the 2012.
Bio u okviru budžeta za 2012. godinu.
It was very unfortunate, but I think you should criticize our Ministry of Finance.
Kritikujete Ministarstvo financija naše.
Sugeriše mi da smo ušli u poslednji deo emisije, ali ja ne mogu da odijem emisiju pre nego što vas pitam i za vaš lični utisak u Srbiji. Vi ste u diplomatiji od 1972. godine. Imali ste karijeru i u Londonu i u Moskvi, bili ste ambasadori u Kirgistanu, Kazahstanu. Dakle, možete da ocenite kakav je u stvari mentalitet Srba u odnosu na sve ove druge narode koje sam nabrojala.
So you worked in so many other countries, met their people, different nationalities. What would you say about the character of the people here?
Well, I think I stayed in many countries in my diplomatic life, but I can say that I'm enjoying best of all in my life. And I'm enjoying very much my life in Serbia. And this country is a very comfortable place to live. and I think there is some kind of similarity of characters between the Japanese people and Serbian people.
Između Japanaca i Srba.
A ja nisam stekla takav utisak kada sam videla da je bilo neophodno da date uslov prilikom donacije autobusa da se oni posebno čiste.
We didn't get that expression when you gave the instruction that buses should be clean.
Očigledno, neko to morao napisati kao uslov da oni ostanu, jer to Srbi sami ne bi na tom nivou održavali.
You think Serbians wouldn't have that level, so they...
Well, you know, those buses are kept very cleanly in Belgrade. Actually, our government donated buses to some other countries. And in those countries, unfortunately, those buses are not kept so clean. Here in Belgrade, those buses kept rather cleanly, and they kept the word with our government. And so we are very happy our donation to Belgrade city, because those buses are kept very well, and so we are very...
Imate li vi problema sa ishranom u Srbiji? Da li znate neke restorane gde je autentična japanska kuhinja?
What do you eat here? Are there any Japanese restaurants?
Well, usually I have my meal in my residence, where I have my cook, my Japanese cook, and so I rarely have my meal outside, but of course I visit. Sometimes I go to restaurants. Mainly I visit Serbian restaurants. As far as the Japanese restaurants concerned, there are several Japanese restaurants, and
Jesu li autentični?
Are those original recipes?
Well, yes, they are trying their best to provide, to prepare the Japanese food. But of course, there is some room for some improvement.
Postoji tu prostora za popravke, za poboljšanje.
And I am planning to invite sushi master of sushi to Belgrade, and to do some training to the chefs of Japanese restaurants.
Da se nauče naši kuvari da prave pravi suši.
I šta vam najviše godi od srpske kulture? Da li je to kuhinja, da li je to muzika, da li vam padeži zadaju najviše problema? Znam da govorite srpski.
Is there a music here that you like? Is it a food? What do you like best here?
Oh, well, sviđa mi se jelo srpske i sviđa mi se muzika, pesme srpske.
Gde ste učili da pevate na srpskom?
Where did you learn to sing in
Serbia? Ja volim da pevam i ja samostalno ja učim.
Hoćete nam otpevati nešto za kraj?
Tamo daleko?
Može.
Može.
Slušamo vas.
Tamo daleko, daleko od mora, tamo je selo moje, tamo je Srbija.
Odlično je bilo, hvala vam najlepše. I time vam se mogu zahvaliti na gostovanju. Bilo je zadovoljstvo ugostiti vas. Poštovani slušalci, čuli smo njegovu ekscelenciju ambasadora Japana u Beogradu, Tošio Cunozaki, po prvi put na VK. Ostanite i dalje uz nas.